Hello everyone, and thank you for joining my channel. My name is Lawrence and you're welcome to 3D Nation. Here in this channel, I'll be showing you some of the simplest and the basic ways of creating 3D art and designs. You will get to understand and learn how to create basic props like chairs, table, laptops, lamp, shelves, wardrobes, spoon, plates, and related stuffs like that. I'll be teaching you how to create mind-blowing and awesome architectural designs. You'll get to also learn the difference in 3D interior and exterior environment. That's not all. I'll be teaching you how to create cartoon content using Autodesk Maya. You'll learn how to texture them, which is also the look development. You will also learn to rig and animate them. Also, I'll be showing you the secrets of PowerPoint, using PowerPoint to create amazing 2D animation and motion graphics. Don't go away, I'll see you in class. Thank you.
Welcome back. I'll be walking you through some of the tools and the components used in creating awesome 3D designs, props, architectural works, and some very nice modeling. So I will start off by explaining what this whole Autodesk Maya interface. So I'm using Maya 2020. Whichever you can find, they are all similar. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so. Thank you. Now, this is the cursor. This is your directional cursor. It enables you to move around, just like you see my cursor moving around the scene. And you have this move tool. Move tool enables you to move the object in the scene, which we are going to look at. This is the rotate. The rotate tool, as the name implies, enables you to rotate objects. And this is the scale tool. Scale enables you to make an object bigger, smaller, longer, or shorter. Now we go back to these items here at your left hand, and this is the panel layout. It shows you one single camera viewpoint, usually from the top, and this here divides the camera into 4 different camera views. Now, to see each of the camera view, you pick your cursor on the scene and you click spacebar. It opens up to the top part of the camera view. You can see here that we have top, which is the y-axis. I will explain that in the course of the lecture. Then you click spacebar. This is the perspective view. Okay, you come back to this part. This is the front view. It shows you the front part of the object. And this is the side view, which is also the x-axis. It shows you the side view. You get to understand all of these camera positions. There are different camera positions. Here, the top axis, the camera shows you the object from the top. Then here you have the perspective view. The camera shows you from the perspective view, usually between 2 or 3 different views. Now at the front part, or the front view, which is also the z-axis, the camera shows you only the front. And of course, from our x-axis, which is also the side, the camera shows you the object from the side. This is dividing the camera or the interface into 2 different views. It enables you to see the front and the perspective at the same time. And of course, when you click this is where we call the outliner. The outliner here shows you every item on the scene. So if there are 5 items on this scene, you will see the 5 items here. The outliner also enables you to rename each item so that you can identify them, especially when you have multiple items running into hundreds of images or modeling. And that's all for this side. Now we'll go to the channel box. Here is the channel box, and we have, okay, let me see if I can actually expand it. No, I can't. This is the channel box. In the channel box or the channel layer, you get to see the dimensions in terms of figures. Then we have the modeling toolkit. This component here enables you to compress, modify, or manipulate the items into whatever shape you want them to be. Now, don't get scared of all of this you're seeing. You may not need all of it. Now, I will explain each of these. You have the symmetry. The symmetry enables you to have an equal dimension of any object. So when something is symmetrical, it's equal, and it enables you to walk at the same equal side at the same pace, simultaneously. Here you have selection constraints. You don't need all of that for now, which we are going to look at probably in our advanced class. And here we have mesh. Okay, you have mesh. Now you have, these are tools that you can use to create awesome props and awesome designs. Combine, as the name implies, it means combining two different things. There are rules to combining. Separate is also the opposite of combine, when you want to separate two different items, or you want to separate an item or divide an item into two. You have smooth. I will explain this much later in the course of our bowling. We have extrude. Extrude is when you grow out something from an object. All right, without speaking theoretically, I guess we should go into the practical aspects of this. Now, the attribute editor. The attribute editor is more like the component or the properties of the item or the image. We will look at that. Now let's go back to our 4-camera point of view. Now this is the 4-camera point of view. At every point in time, you can see, when you see your camera viewpoint in these 4 different dimensions, what it means is that you can view them at the same time without necessarily expanding on one camera viewpoint. Now sometimes as a 3D artist, you may need to work on certain aspects of a mesh or a polygon, and you would like to see the adjustment at the other side. All right, so we go back to this. Like I explained, we have different items here. I call this clay. That's what I call it. Just like how you mold with your clay, these are the items. So it's called the poly modeling. These are mesh. These items are used for you to create or design. Never mind if you are looking at them in the form of shapes. They can be manipulated, they can be deformed into different objects. Among the shelves, there are other things you can actually see which you are looking at. We may not be able to go through all of these at the same time, but we get to look at them as we start applying some of these techniques and these skills in creating awesome 3D designs. All right, I'll go here to the file. When I click the file, we can see, just like your Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Office, Excel, and Word, you have new scene. When you click this, you bring in a new scene. You can see I've clicked it and it says save changes to untitled scene. I'll click no, don't save, because I have not done anything on the scene. When I click no, don't save, it brings in another scene just like you have seen. Now you can see this scene is in a 1-camera position, which is the perspective view. For me to take it to the 4-camera point view, you click on this side, which is your panel layout. The screen and the interface changes into the 4-camera point view. Now we have the open scene. This is a situation where you have a saved item already. You have the save, you have the save as, and you have the import as imply, export, and all of that. Project window, set project window. I'll come to this shortly. Edit. Here you have options to edit and do some adjustment. Here you have create. We may not be able to explore each of these items, but as we move on, you get to see what each of these items can do. You have modify, you have display windows, and all of that. In all of these, you have the mesh, edit mesh, mesh tool, mesh display. There are components and features that would help you in creating very good 3D designs. Some of them are repeated. You can see we have extrude here. We also have extrude in our modeling toolkit component, which is here. We also have extrude here, and so you get to see that some of these tools or components can be used to do different things. So for instance, if you do not want to extrude, there's another tool you can use to extrude, which will give you similar results. So in a nutshell, I can say that you have 2 or 3 different tools or components that can do something similar. So to make our class go very fast, let's bring in an item into the scene. When you want to bring in an item into the scene, you click on any of these. Now this is subject to what you want to do. If you want to create a table, for instance, it's best for you to use a poly tool that would give you, that is close to a table. Now the square out of every other poly modeling tool here is the closest to a table. As much as you can manipulate them to a car, whatever you want to do, it's always best you pick a poly modeling tool that is close to what you want to create or what you want to model. So for instance, if I was to create a bottle, the closest poly modeling tool I will click here is this polygon cylinder. You can see polygon cylinder. No, but we are not doing a bottle today. Let's just click the polygon cube. Now you can see it's on my scene, and to zoom, your middle mouse, you drag it forward, that is, you roll it forward, middle mouse to zoom. When you roll it backwards, it goes back to the original position. That's to zoom. To zoom, you roll it forward and you bring it backwards. That applies to all camera positions. Now we are at the top view. To see it clearly, you can actually zoom further and zoom backward using your middle mouse. Same happens to the front view. You can zoom forward and zoom backwards. The side, you can zoom forward and zoom backwards. Now I'd like to explain that at this point you need to understand your camera position. Now at the top view, which is the y-axis, you can only see the top. That's why it's called the top view. The camera has been positioned such that you cannot see any other part except the top view. Same applies to the front view, and same applies to the side view. Now you can see from the perspective view, I can see 3 different positions. I can see from 3 perspectives. One, I can see from the top, I can see from the front, and I can see from the side. Now to apply some of the things I explained to you at the beginning of this class, you can see on our outliner we have cube 1, which is referring to this item on the scene. Now you can double click on this item and name your cube. Okay, so let's say tabletop. I type in table and click enter. You can see that the cube 1 has been renamed to table on our outliner. If I bring in another object into the scene, you can see your outliner gives you all the names of every item in the scene. Now the reason why you cannot see the second item I brought into the scene is because it's in the same position as the first. Now this is our cursor, like I explained. You can use it to move around, click on different aspects of the scene. Now this is the move tool. The move tool, like I said, enables you to move the object. Now when I click on this polygon, you can see that the move tool has been configured in 3 different points. The green arrow shows you that it's the y-axis, that is, it's directed upwards. You can see at this point here, it's also replicated here. Green, wherever you see arrow or anything moving upwards, it's moving towards the y-axis. Now for the blue, you can see the blue arrow. The blue arrow moves forward, that is the front. Now the red is the side. If I hold it and drag it up, you can see that this cube is moving upward. Can you see that? Now to take it back to the original position, you click Ctrl Z. Ctrl Z brings it back to the start position. Now if I want to move this item forward, I will move it from the blue point. Now you can see the item has moved forward. That is the Z axis. To take it back to the original position, Ctrl Z. Now to move it to the side view, you move it from the red point, which is the side view. Now let us change this camera position into 4. Now when I move this to the front, you can see that at the top view it has moved, at the side view it has also moved, but at the front view it did not move because the front is still seeing only the front. I hope you can understand what I'm explaining here. The reason why it will not move, you will not see it move, because it is still at the same front position. Now if I were to move it upwards, that's where you see the implication of the movement. You can see. So Ctrl Z, original position, Ctrl Z, original position. Now if I'm to move it at the side view, you can see only the camera position at the top and at the front view will show the movement. The side view will not show that it has moved because it is viewing only from the side. You'll get to understand some of this concept as we move on. Now a quick tip: try as much as possible not to move it from the middle axis, because if you do, I would explain something to you when we get to our channel box. Now that's all about the move tool. The move tool enables you to move them at different points. Now we'll go to our rotate. Like I explained, rotate enables you to rotate the object at different points. Okay, so you can rotate it from the front axis, which is that's why it's showing yellow. You can rotate it from the blue axis, which is towards the left. You can also rotate it from the top. So this is the side. You can see we rotate from the side. This is the front, and this is the top, the side, and the front. That's to rotate. Now let's look at it at the different camera position. You can actually zoom them individually. Now for me to rotate this in front, you can see, look at the 3 camera positions. You can see it's actually telling us that they are all rotating. Now I rotate it from the side. You can see they are all responding at their different camera positions. Now we go to the scaling tool. I explained that the scaling tool enables you to scale, make it bigger, longer, or shorter. So if I want to make this cube longer from the side view, all I need to do is drag it from this red box. You can see it's pretty getting longer. Control Z to take it back to the original position. If I want to make it longer towards the front view, I drag it from this point, the yellow point, make it longer. Control V. Then if I want to make it longer from the top view, I will drag it from this point as well. You can see it's longer. Now let's apply this to the different camera position. Now these are the positions we can see: top, front, side. Now let me scale this from the front. Just like I explained using the move tool, you will not see the impact in the front. So look at it. You can see the impact at the top view. We can also see from the side view, but we cannot see it from the front because the camera is looking only at the front. The dimensions of movement is still the same. Control Z. Now if I'm supposed to scale it from the side, you can see only the top and the front will show you the movement. The side will not show you the movement. Now if I decide to scale it from the top, you can see the front and the side are only responding to this new change. The top remains the same. Control V. However, like I said, for the move tool, do not move from the middle. But from the scaling tool, you can actually scale from the middle. Now, the reason why it's advisable to scale from the middle is only when you want to scale something proportionally. If you're familiar with Photoshop and some other graphics software, when you want to scale some things proportionally, there are commands you use. So when I scale this from the middle, you can see that they are all scaling proportionally. None is longer, none is shorter. They are all proportional. I'll also scale it down. So to scale it, you hold you left click on it, drag it towards your right. By the time you drag it towards the left, you are making it smaller. You drag it towards out. Dragging it in makes it smaller. Dragging it out makes it bigger. Dragging it in makes it smaller. Dragging it out makes it bigger. Well, I think that's all we'll go for in this class. In our next class, we'll continue from this. See you again next time.